Back again in the motor, really enjoying the motor at the moment, and there's a lot on my mind, as you can always tell. There's tons. Let me just start this bitch up. So I've noticed a lot of things recently, and how like basically whatever you're going through, whatever your in your life is, whatever's pulling you back and pulling you down, will end up being your saving grace. It will end up being the reason that you succeed, and it will end up being the reason that you become a pressure tested. So for me, the burnout, the bankruptcy, going broke multiple times, it's all part of my journey, it's all part of my story. And you know what it tells to me? It means that I can handle, I can continue getting done, and I can have some solid levels of resilience. Because if you're not resilient, then sales are going to be tough for you anyway. You've got to be outrageously resilient, you've got to be outrageously optimistic, and you've got to be really in your brain, and essentially you have to be able to switch very quickly from this is a bad day to I'm making this a great day. So that's the biggest thing for me, because I know a lot of people are like, oh well, you know, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, I've got this on my plate. It's like, yeah, I know you do. I didn't ask about your sob story, maybe I did, but I'm not asking you to lean into it, because if you keep on leaning into the past, what happens is you get the same feeling, you get the same thoughts, and what happens is your thoughts, they're not even real, but they control how you feel. So if you feel like shit all the time, it'll partly be because your thoughts are dog. So for me, I'm a big believer in whatever you think about, you end up becoming. So for me, if I think that I'm gonna have a bad day, my body's gonna feel worse, I'm gonna feel tense, I'm not going to feel relaxed, there's going to be like a weird energy and a weird aura about me, and it's not going to help, and then that's going to affect my performance. So when these people are saying about all of their past experiences and all of their troubles, it's like, yeah, you went through it, you need to look at that as a win, you need to look at that as the reason that you're going to succeed and the reason that you're going to crush it, because if you don't, then you'll only ever use them as your backup plan, your safety blanket as to why you didn't succeed. So it's just a mental reframe. Again, more sales is about reframes. Reframe all the that's gone in your life as the reason why you will succeed, not as the reason why you won't. Because you'll find with a lot of people, like, I don't know the ins and outs of the chemical reactions or what happens in the body chemically, but I do know that with certain like negative feelings and thoughts, it will trigger like a chemical reaction, and you end up becoming like addicted to that feeling. So you end up becoming addicted to the negativity. You've probably met people who just talk about drama and talk about bad, and you're like, I wonder why this person always talks so like poorly about things, about people, about themselves. And it's because they're addicted to that negative state, and that is all in the dome, and they probably feel like it as well. So for you, the best thing you can do is just make sure that what you're doing is going to be actually helping your brain, your body, your soul, your everything, instead of hinder. Ways you can do that. For me, the big ones, like at the moment, I'm big into, when I read, I listen to 432 hertz alpha waves heal the whole body. And it's like an 11-hour song, but it's literally just like, as you would imagine, just like sort of like white noise, but like calming. Because I know for me, if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, I don't really mind. It keeps my brain focused on the book. It shuts out the world, and maybe it would be better if I just focused on the book and didn't have anything in my ears, but I quite like it, and it makes me feel very relaxed. When I feel relaxed, my brain and nervous system get less inflamed and less activated. So for me, that's real helpful. 423 hertz is like a healing energy. I've done videos on it before, but you can look at like the different frequency of music and sounds, and how that is actually like how that runs parallel to different feelings. So like gratitude, abundance, love, joy are all super high frequency. And then you've got like hate, jealousy, despair, all real low frequency. Because like I've said many times before, sales is just an exchange of energy. If your energy's whack, they're not going to buy. If your energy's great, they're more likely to buy. And obviously, if you're a person who's naturally good energy, you don't want to just rely on that naturally good energy to make sure that you close, because you can't just rely on energy at all. You need to be smart. You need to study psychology. You need to understand people. You need to have a good understanding of stereotypes, to be honest. You don't want to put people in baskets that they're not in, but a lot of people are more similar than you think. I'm not going to go into the depths of it now. It's another video for another day. But that's another thing that I would always recommend, is understanding the frequency of how you feel and how that comes across with people. For me, I'm always very much the authority. Because I study so much and I work a lot and I invest a lot in my own education, I feel like I am the authority. I've also built so many businesses, it doesn't make sense. Most of them made fuck all money, or very little anyway. The last two have been a 6-figure and a 5-figure business. So for me, I know that I've got the validation that I can do it. I've done it before, I can do it again. And that's a mantra of mine, and I suggest people having mantras. I've done it before, I can do it again. Keep it light was another one of mine as well. When my brain would go into overdrive and it would get a bit like, my mates hate me, my life hates me, my parents hate me, Why is everything going wrong? I know that it's just my mind, and your mind is not your best friend. It can be your best and your worst friend. Most people, it's going to be your worst friend, to be honest. And then you've got to make it your best friend. You've got to learn to love it, learn how to reframe your own thoughts, because they're not real. They just pop up. This is why meditation is also key. Something that I also suggest is to realize that the thoughts that come up aren't your own. You can make them your own, you can shape them your own, but your thoughts and your brain are a bit like a farm. Whatever you sow, you get. So if I'm planting loads of, I'm only going to get back. So I choose to try and plant as much positivity and growth as possible, so that's what I get back, right? Because otherwise you're just going to be in this constant cycle, like I said before, of negativity and despair and doubt. A lot of people are doubting themselves. Something that I find hard to teach is self-belief, because I'm not the most pro reassurance guy. I need it sometimes, not really, to be honest. I've always known that I'm going to fucking do well and get after it, and all I told myself is the longer the journey and the harder the journey, the more I will get from it. Because, again, one of my favorites, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. If I go through 10 years of, I know that I'm going to get 10 years of joy at least after that as a minimum, right? Hopefully in that 10 years of joy, I can then work on the systems, the business, and architect the life some more, so that I get everything that I want and there's less bullshit that comes my way. But everyone wants quick money, everyone wants quick returns, and it just doesn't happen like that. If you want that, it will just come up and down as quick as it came. So for me, enjoy the hustle, enjoy a bit of the suck, because that's what you need to get better. Being humble enough to understand that you're not where you are now, and you're not as smart as you think you are, and you're not as good as people as you think you are, and you just don't know enough about the world, the person, the brain, psychology, and everything else, is the perfect sign that you're going to at least get better. And that's all I ask from people, is to try and get better every day and try to educate themselves. Because if you don't, what will happen then is, essentially, if you don't get better, you don't get anywhere. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I'd always recommend to, quieten your mind, to level up yourself, to upskill yourself, because really it's not much else you can do in this life. Like, what else are you going to do? Go and try and go on endless dates and bang loads of birds. Like, it's soulless at the end of the day. And I'm a firm believer, when you get to different parts of your life, if you put yourself in an average category with average people, your height, your looks, your hairline, your eyes, and even your physique mean a lot. When you get into higher brackets, higher echelons, you're rubbing shoulders with better people, you're making more money, you're making better decisions, you're doing shit that is, hard to do. No one really cares about those other things as much. They care about your mind, they care about what you've built, and they care about how much you can provide. Most people are just looking for a provider and a protector. At the end of the day, that means, can you kill someone, and can you pay for someone? Essentially, can you look after them financially? So for me, I know a lot of people who ride or die on their height, and I'm like, I'm 5'11" barefoot. I'm taller than most. I put on a pair of Air Maxes or 110s, I'm 6'1". But again, I don't give a fuck about my height. My stepdad is short. He's arguably one of the smartest people I've ever met, and I owe a lot to him. So for me, I've never given a fuck about height, because you didn't earn it, so why lean into it? Same with good looks. You didn't earn it, so it's like, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, I reckon a lot of the best looking people, they get luckier because they're good looking, but they don't have to work as hard. So you'll find a lot of like the short kings and the uglier people will probably do better, because they got a chip on their shoulder and they'll outwork everyone. So this is like where I had the realization for me, is I was like, I'm a good height, I'm good looking, I've got a great hairline, I've worked on my physique, but it's still like, I imagine naturally it'll be very good. I've been given a lot, and I didn't work for any of it, really, apart from the gym. But the rest of it, I didn't work for any of it. So for me, it was like a bit of a realization when I was younger. I was like, I'm going to have to work for something more, because I can't rely on my boyish good looks. I'm 30 now, and I get mistaken for 25, 26 all the time. I can't rely on this all the time, because what's going to happen is people will outwork me. And if there's something that I will live by, is I will guarantee I will outwork anyone. If someone says that they're better than me at X, Y, or Z, I don't really care if you're better than me today, because if I really care about it, I'll just outwork you and I'll educate myself. So yeah, that's kind of how I see it. Is again, it's just a waiting game. I'm not in a rush. I know that life is long. I'm 30 years old now. Probably the best I've felt and the best year that I've had so far. And I'm just excited for more. Again, for me, it's like, is the juice worth the squeeze? And for me, it's becoming worth the squeeze. But again, you've got to enjoy the hardship, enjoy the suck, and just enjoy not being the person you need to be yet, because you'll become that sooner or later. And for a long time, I'd imagine you'll become the person that you want to be before your finances and before your bank balance actually match it, because I feel like there's a certain delay period. It's a bit like when you're eating. I know that if you say you eat for 10-20 minutes, I was told, don't quote me on it, but it takes about 20 minutes for you to get full. So if you basically take a break after you've eaten your first meal, in approximately 20 minutes, you'll then feel full. And I believe it's the same with becoming your higher self, or the person that you need to be. You'll get there, but it takes more than 20 minutes, but it takes a while for your finances in your life and your standard of living to catch up. Because if it happened overnight, it just in my mind, it wouldn't make sense, and it's just not how the world works. There's always a delayed response for things. So yeah, that's all I'm thinking about, really hanging off the gym a little bit at the moment. I think I'm going to get back into it either today or tomorrow, go for a massage, and then yeah. But there's another little chat in the car, no script, no nothing, just another Connor Weston brain dump. I'll see you on Instagram, I'll see you in the mini course, I'll see you in the community, wherever I'll see you, I'll see ya. But yeah, thanks very much, have a good one, and speak to you soon. Ciao ciao, subscribe.